What's up, everyone? How are you?
Hola, hola, hola. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Hump Day. That's what they
Hump day.
say. I'm Lady Di, and this is the Real Precious on
Hola, hola, hola.
the Wednesday show, 7-ish, because that's the time we start. We try to make it on time, but we're here. So today we're going to talk about Kendra G's Singles Live show. Her show is pretty interesting. She has the singles live. I think it's every evening or so. It's a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And people come on and they share, their lifestyle, what's going on with them being single, if they were married before and everything. So we're going to dive into some of her interviews with them and we're going to give our insight and everything. So, have you ever Precious, have you ever seen someone try to get on that show?
No, I've seen some people in the social media space on that show, but not someone that I know, personally, like in my hometown or anything. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. That
Yeah.
show is quite interesting. I do watch it from time to time, and it's quite interesting because a lot of people will tell you what's out here, and some of the stories that you're here or that I personally hear, I'm like, nah, I can't. It's not really like that. No, you're lying. No. And then I watch that show, and I'm like, wow, it is really like that out
Mhm.
here. And then it's on the men's side and the women's side, but she has more women on her show than men. And so you really do, and we're not discussing a woman tonight, but you really do see the attitudes, the entitlement, and things of that nature when you watch that show. Because Kendra asks you what you want. Kendra, um, she asks you the questions, and she doesn't force you to answer anything a certain type of way. And some of the answers that come out of their mouths are out of this world. Sometimes I'll be like, no, mm-mm.
For real. I like it though because if they're being honest, that's what I like. I like them to say the craziest things because that's their authentic self.
Yeah.
Like you ever went on a date or heard someone talk about their date and it was kind of like they weren't being real with each other.
Yeah.
It was just like yes, no. I had a okay childhood, but they don't get into it. Like,
Yes, I've definitely experienced that. I saw this one clip of this. It was a white couple, and it's a movie clip, and I forget which movie it's from. But she goes into depth about a part of her childhood, and then she asks the guy like, "Well, how was your mother?" He was like, "She was fine. My childhood was great. How's your cake?" Like,
he
so I
wasn't
don't know.
interested.
So I don't know if that's a man versus woman thing or not, because men don't like to say a lot of words up front. Um, so I don't know, but I thought it was funny because she was trying to get deep as the deep blue sea child, and he was like, "So how's your cake?" And she was like, "Well, usually when somebody shares something with you, you share something back."
It's
He
true.
wasn't having it.
Maybe because he wasn't. Maybe her story was too crazy, or he just wasn't interested. You know.
Yeah, I've come to find out that some people, when I'm dating someone, or even talking to someone, I think that people are trying to do that to get to know you.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that I hold back things that are important, because those are things that you should know. But I think there are people who hold back information for specific reasons that the other person doesn't know.
Hmm.
And I think that if there are things that you're holding back, that's fine. But at the same time, when someone is sharing with you and you realize that the other person isn't sharing, then you're asking yourself, well, why? What is it that stops you from sharing certain information. So, and you can't force anyone to do anything. That's what I always say. I always bring up the, God don't want you to be with a tightwad, because certain things you can withhold. There are certain things that don't want to give someone. And there's a reason why people don't want to give you certain things. And so you have to, keep an eye out on that, because it may not be, for a bad reason or a malicious reason why they're keeping it from you. But some people don't come to peace with their own story. They don't come to peace with their own reality, and sometimes you can tell those things with people. So
That's true. But don't you think that that may be a problem in some relationships?
oh yeah,
That
definitely.
they're holding back, because this is how you get to know someone. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that if you heard a crazy story of their childhood, that doesn't mean you're not supposed to date them or be with them.
Right.
I do believe that the past is the past, and let's talk about how are you right now, and
Right.
let's talk about have you overcame some of these things that may haunted you in the past. And that's where I go from. But people are so scared these days that it's very hard to date. Now, I haven't been in the dating world in a long time.
Be glad.
So
Thank
for
the Lord.
that was 10 years ago. But I hear so many stories, and I wouldn't say a lot has changed. I would just say a lot of things are people are getting away with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then a lot of policies change. Now you have the same sex marriage is being accepted. You have that you can basically claim and be whoever you want as far as gender goes. Those type of things can impact the dating world, because
Mm-hmm.
you're coming across people who are doing what they want to do because they're allowed to.
Yeah.
And you're just looking for a simple, straight, whatever you're into person without all the extra stuff. So now that kind of makes it worse. So yeah.
Yeah, it does. Makes it confusing for younger people who are getting, to the part in their lives where they are, becoming teenagers and feeling those feelings, and hormones are, raging. Like you said, people are just doing what they want to do. And it just makes it harder on everyone, especially when certain people are confused. And then you have I saw a article of a guy who identified as a woman in, I think it was Planet Fitness, and he identified as a woman, looked straight up like a man. There was nothing about him that was a man. I mean, a woman. You know what I mean? He didn't wear a wig. He didn't wear women's clothing, but he's in the women's locker room. And from what the article says, he was just waving around his Johnson in the locker room. But he said he identified as a woman. And I believe they have policies that, like you were saying earlier, that allow him to be in that locker room, and you have little girls in there, like, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of sexual perversion out here to begin with. So when you throw that in the dating pool and all of that, it just becomes very messy.
Since
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. But since we're talking, wait, before I get started, I'm sorry, y'all. So today, me and Precious are doing the call-in show every Wednesday. Actually, you could call this number and you could ask us anything. Right now, the topic is about singles. So call us about, as far as your single life goes, if you may need any help. I'm married, been together with my husband for 10 years. Precious has experience in the dating world currently, right now, especially. So we can help you maybe give some insight on that. So definitely take that number and call, and let's have a conversation. You do not need to be on camera. Will be simply on the phone. Just make sure that we
Yep.
can hear you and it's not breaking up.
Yes.
And anybody can call, even if we know you. Call, it is fine. It's fine. What's up, world class?
Hey, world class.
How you doing? We have YMC, YMC, YF, GSMP. What's up?
Hey, hey, hey.
Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
Always keeps up with everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We got
And this was love content. He said, damn. Yeah, that story, when I saw that, I said, my goodness, you can't even. Well, I mean, what do you say? You know, especially when a policy says he could be in here. It's just crazy.
right. So I'm glad World Class asked this because that's what I was going to get into, not to put you on the spot or whatever. But how has the dating, or wait, are you literally dating, like actively dating this year since January?
Since January, I have, yes.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind, we're not going to get too personal with our co-host today, but we do
Treat me
want.
like Whitney Houston, okay?
But
Woo.
we are on a public platform. You never know who's watching. You never know who Mr. Right, Mr. Husband is back
Cause
there.
if you're looking at you, should have put a ring on it.
Right? So, just a simple question.
Mhm.
As dating, because I think you're a good catch, right? I think that,
Thank
like I
you.
said, I'm wife, she's wife type, wife like, okay? Has it been hard dating for you? And and I'm gonna be real specific. Are you picky, or are the guys just not your, like, they're not husband material? Because there's two different things.
So I'm dating to be married. I'm not just out here, you know, just accepting dates from any and everybody. So I'm dating to be married. So I find that not a lot of men that I have come across or who have, because I believe a wife is found. Like I go out, I'm not just in the house, although I am a homebody most of the time. I do prioritize, you know, going out. It's just, I'm just not doing it every single weekend. But I find that men like to date. They like their options. I haven't really been finding men who want to date for marriage. As far as being picky,
Wait, pause. Can you hear me?
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the first part. You say you don't find men dating for marriage for you?
I don't think that men are, and I don't want to say a lot of men. The men that I have been coming across doesn't seem like they're dating for marriage.
Now, how can you tell? Like, I know when you sit down with them, I guess that's how you would know. So, can you share what that sounds like for ladies who may be dating?
Sometimes it's not what it sounds like, it's just what it looked like.
What it look like?
It's just what it looked like. And what it looked like is you're not really having steps moving forward to be in a committed relationship. Or it could be like what we were talking about earlier. You're just not reciprocating. I'm not a person, and I know they say you have to ask questions. I ask questions once I see and observe a lot of things. I like to see what is given. And so when I see someone is a certain way, I'm like, okay, there's a reason for this. But I'm not gonna hound you either.
Wait,
Because
I'm sorry. We about to make this about you for the first
okay,
couple minutes.
okay.
Maybe I missed it. What does looking a certain way mean? I don't get that one.
A woman knows when a man is moving in a certain way to be committed to her. She
Oh,
also knows when he's moving in a certain way where it's just like, I'm interested, but I'm still keeping my options open as well.
okay.
Like like that's what I mean when I say what it looks like. Like it may sound like, oh, you're beautiful and I can see you this and that. But like I said, I'm not dating just to be dating around. Like I'm not just dating just so, you could say that you're dating me, like, or I'm dating you. I'm dating to be married. So, if there are just certain things that are not, I have a father and I have a father, who took care of the family, pursued, there are a lot of people who say, oh, there are people that I know who say, my wife didn't even have to ask me if we were, dating. Nowadays I feel like men don't want to put a title on things. They don't want to say what it is. They don't want to clearly carve it out. I don't
Okay.
know. I'm just attracted to confidence and someone that's not going to let anything stop them from getting what they want.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You guys heard that. She ain't playing. Dating for a purpose, dating to be married. You cannot play around with that. And I think for most ladies, like if you just want to what they call a smash, I'm gonna talk in y'all language. I don't even know.
I'm talking y'all language.
If y'all just trying to smash what they call them cheeks, yams, whatever, then you need to go to the strip club or
Yeah.
like the club and get those type of ladies. You don't even have to have, I've heard you don't even have to have a long conversation to even get that. But to waste your time to go on a date, pay for a date, if you're even paying for the date, don't waste these girls' time.
Mm-mm.
Precious right now, she is ready to be married. So same thing for ladies out there. Don't let these men waste your time. You gotta know what it looks like. At first, when you said looks like, I'm thinking about like
Not physical looks. No, 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 not physical looks. Not physical looks.
like this look
No, 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 no.
like. You do. And I understand. I have experience in that as well. On Instagram, what's up? Spiritual Awakening. Hey, how are you? Thanks for everyone who joined. They okay, they said not all men. Sorry. Not all men. Okay, I don't understand that. But that you
No
were
comprende.
no comprende. That you were looking in the wrong places. Did you mention a place earlier?
No.
Okay. So last question so we can move on. And make sure you guys on the YouTube, a pin phone number is there. Use it, call us, and we're going to talk. Okay. So, all right. Last question is um do you believe that a certain place, a setting is important when it comes to finding a good man? Like, do you think location matters as far as where you're at? Grocery store, gym, church, lounge, restaurant, bar, do you think it
I
matters?
don't know. I don't know if I can limit a place to, or I don't know if I can limit a good man to a certain place. You probably increase your chances going certain places. Um, but I think it would be pertaining to exactly what you want. I think men who go to the strip club and places like that, I don't think that they're looking for a woman to be in a committed relationship with. But does that make them a bad man? No, he just might like to see some ass and titties, but that may just what he want to see every night, just not somebody that he's committed to.
Okay.
Whereas if you find somebody in the grocery store, you might have to learn a little bit more about him. You might have to get a little bit deeper into who he is. You could tell he cooking. He got some groceries in this place. Because I'll tell you one thing, men don't be having nothing in their refrigerators, and I just don't understand why. I mean, I get it, but it's like they really need somebody to cook for them, child. I they really do. It is what's the delivery? The food delivery is just they 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 depending on the delivery. I think that's who be keeping these delivery places in business, the single men.
All
Because they
right.
will DoorDash in a second.
All right. Nice. So we're gonna
What's
move
your
on.
ring size?
Oh, your ring size. Before we get into that, so we want to talk about Precious this, starting off, but I'll share my dating story with James later at the end of the show, and I'll let you know how I knew that he was the one and vice versa. Okay. What's your ring size? Okay, we're glad. What's up, Sporties Mobile Detailing? Thanks for being here.
Hola, hola. And it's a 7 world class. It's a 7.
Ooh, there you go. Um, what's up, Christopher? So he says, Precious is speaking facts. We got Black Lexicon in the building. We have AP. What's up?
AP.
All right.
Yeah, right into the topic.
Right. So we're gonna play a clip that shares. Christopher is funny. All right, we're gonna share a clip about this lady who was dating and is a guy that shared his insight on her dating experience. So let's get into it.
I'm going to be honest with you. You asked to split the date, split the cost or anything. It's not a date. And I mean, if you invite me, you have to pay.
I have a friend who is incredibly cheap. And he asked me recently, he said, hey man, why are you always willing to pay for dinner when you go on dates? And I said, bro, you don't realize what these women go through just to meet with you for a date. Let's talk about time first and foremost. A woman who doesn't even know you, she met you at Target, okay? You're a stranger to her. She decides, okay, well, let me create time to meet with this man for a date. Time that she could be using to spend with her kids, her family. She could be using this time to make money, and yet she's still budgeting time to meet you.
You're on mute.
All right, I just want to stop right there because before we get into the next part he about to say, which I don't even know. This is how I feel about this. This is just me, and then Precious, she may have something else. But he act like he the only one that got to stop his time. I mean, she's the only one that has to stop her time to date. Like, I'm not saying he can't consider that. Like, I think that's very generous. That's up. But if you date 10 women in 2 months, which is 5 women a month, because you kind of
that's why you better be intentional. That's all I'm saying.
You know, some guys are just dating to have sex, or some men are just dating to find a wife. But if you are very proactive, and I think men could date more, then considering that for every lady, I mean, I don't think that's a good approach, because that means that you're willing to kind of spend whatever on her. And every lady is not worth every dime. Maybe if someone who was wife-like, like Precious here, maybe, you know, you could put the effort in, but to do it for just a random person, no. That's just my thoughts on the first part.
Yeah, I've never had someone ask me to pay for dinner. Like I've offered like tip, but I've never had someone. Now I've had someone who did have his card or something like that, and I paid. But I've never had someone ask to split a bill with me or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think men should go and just split the bill. Like, I do believe in men being a gentleman. So, you know, especially if you ask her, then, you know, obviously you're paying. But if she offers, I look for ladies, like for me, I tell ladies, like, you could offer. And if he just says no, then he says no.
Right.
And Precious, you mentioned tip. You could offer tip. And if he says no, then no. But I don't think, like, okay, let's just split this bill. If you want to split a bill, then you need to go on a walk on the beach or at the park. If you're not ready to pay right now, that's how I look at that. If you're not ready to pay, you ain't got to pay. Just go for a stroll. Because to me, it's like, how I look at it, men are men, and men to me are with the courting phase. So I think that if you're going to take her out, then you're paying for it. But I don't think men should be obligated to pay. I think that you do have a choice. Just don't set yourself up where you're like, yeah, you split in this bill, especially if you didn't talk about it prior to.
Like, yeah, I think that it shouldn't. I've never assumed that a man was going to pay. Like, I think a lot of women go out too, and they just don't be having no money, you know, and they expect the guy to pay because they don't have it. So that's another thing. You know, women, if you're going to go out with a man, make sure that you can split the bill with him if it had to come to that. And I think, you know, most men do go out with the assumption that they're gonna cover it. But if not, it's a simple conversation at the table too. And I don't think that a woman should be offended if he does ask to split the bill because y'all don't know each other. I mean, he doesn't have to. You know, you can't tell a man what to do with his money. So he don't have to pay for you. So if he does ask to split the bill, you know, that's just that comes with it. That comes with the dating game.
I don't think he has to, but back when I was dating, I expected them to pay. But if he didn't pay, I wasn't mad. See, the difference
Right.
is you to be pissed off. Like they want you to pay for their friends and all the stuff I've been hearing online. And like I said, I just expect men to pay because that's just what it is. That's what they do. Even back then, you know, or now, you go to the club or to a lounge and are offering for all of this stuff, right? Most of the time it's because they want to get in a bed with you. But men, regardless if they're trying to get in a bed with you or not, they always offer and they pay. They hold the door. That's just kind of like how I look at it. But like I said, I think that if he asks you, don't be upset. Like what Precious said, it's not nothing to be upset about. You should not go there broke. If you can't afford whatever restaurant that he's taking you to, then you shouldn't go. You have to make sure that you are able to pay for yours and his. Because you just never know.
You never know.
Look at the menu, look at those prices. If you see $26, $30 a plate, $40 a plate, you better be having that in your bank account for you, him, dessert, wine, whatever. Because you never want to be out there stranded. So you always have to be prepared.
Yep.
And then if you had to pay for everything, that's up to you. But you always have to hear men out. You never know what's going on. Some guys just like to test women. They'll just like pay for it, or my card is not working, or whatever. They can make up any excuse just to see if you're gonna just say, "Okay, I got it," right? Meanwhile, they don't want.
I mean, what we about to do? Bust some suds in the we about to be putting on some aprons, serving some tables. I mean, you know.
Yeah, don't miss out on a blessing because you being spoiled. Yeah, some of the guys in the chat right now don't like him.
I know he get a flat.
Y'all don't like him. Let's see what else he got to say. Christopher says, not every man is capable of having a fun account that does not hurt your finances. I love to wine and dine, my lady. Okay, what's up, Blaze?
Hey, Blaze.
Okay, Blaze said, if I'm the one who asked you out and I planned the date, then I got it. That's just common courtesy. Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Black Wisconsin says, does this happen to ladies?
It happened to me before.
If he is going to do that, just call Dutch before the date is set.
Seriously, before it's set, just say, hey, you know, I figured we go Dutch on this date. You okay with that? I mean, it's simple. It's very simple.
That's what I'm saying. I think that it should be a conversation because, like I said, back in the day, I expected them to pay because that's just
maybe that's why men get mad why women get mad because maybe it's said right then and there when the bill comes,
right?
Not you know, something that's presented to her so that she knows ahead of time. So she can, you know, make sure she have, if she really want to go on a date, then she'll make sure she have her, you know, her ass.
Because like
women be looking at the menu and everything before that date. So look,
I'm saying, like
you gotta calculator out.
But how I look at it is like, if a man said, hey, right at when the bill comes, he says, let's go Dutch. Wouldn't you expect that the date didn't go well? He don't like you like that?
Not necessarily. I mean, you're in the date. So, you know, you would be the one to determine that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the date didn't go well. Like you said, some men do like to test women. Is it a good test? I'm not sure because he could have his reasons for doing it. But I would definitely, it wouldn't stop me from going on another date. And then the next date I would see, what the vibe is. Because like I said, as a grown woman, you should have, funds to be able to cover your way anyway. I mean, that's just what it should be. You shouldn't just be going somewhere with no money. But at the same time, I don't know, because I always feel like people don't have to do anything for me. Like, that's always my attitude. Like, you didn't have to do this, but because you did, I'm grateful. Like, you know what I mean? I think certain people just feel like people have to do things for them, and they really don't. And that's just the truth of it all. A man don't have to do anything for you. He chooses to do that.
Mm-hmm. So if a man lost his wallet, would you pay for the date?
I've done it before. A man, his car wasn't working. I've had to do it before.
Because some people be like,
we went to a soul food restaurant, child. The food was good. It was good. And the card wasn't working, and so I gave my card.
Okay, cool. So second part to that is, okay, if the card is not working or he lost his wallet, I don't think that you could still go on another date with him, but you have to watch him, because there are some guys that really just are not as responsible.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure, like, is he irresponsible? Does he work? There's a lot of things. Some of these men are lazy. You gotta really look at all that. Or did he really just lose his wallet for that day, or his car really just wasn't working?
And Misery Loves Company said, "Did he pay you back?" I don't know. Did he pay you back? And that is the reason. Now, we weren't really dating. We were going out as friends. So it wasn't like a situation where we were in it and we had gone on all these dates. This is probably maybe our second time meeting up, but he never offered to pay me back. And so that was a deciding factor for me. Like, dang, like, sheesh.
And that's what I was basically saying. Women, you had to test men too, because he didn't offer to pay her back. I mean, I don't know about that. That means that he was trying to get a free meal. He don't have a consistent job, and that was just his way to eat that day. And maybe he's done it to many women, nice ones, I bet. He probably asked what you do for a living just to make sure you could afford. They be scamming out here.
But I don't look at things like that. Like, oh my God, the next person is going to do that. I think all of our life experiences, they happen for a reason. So you can have the life experience. You know what I mean? There may be women who never experienced that, but there may be some things that women experience that I've never, put myself in that situation to experience. So, certain things happen and you just got to be ready for it. That's why I say you always have to just be ready. And I think certain women may get mad or in their feelings if they're not ready, or if they feel like they're entitled to get what, they feel as though you should be giving them.
Okay. Well, I see there's a lot of people that are watching us right now. Thank you so much for joining. Hit the like button if you can. It doesn't take long, just takes a couple seconds. Subscribe to my channel and Precious channel. We are live every Wednesday, or at least we try to be, around 7 o'clock. All right, let's get back into the video.
And I said, bro, you don't realize what these women go through just to meet with you for a date. Let's talk about time first and foremost. A woman who doesn't even know you, she met you at Target. Okay, you're a stranger to her. She decides, okay, well, let me create time to meet with this man for a date. Time that she could be using to spend with her kids, her family. She could be using this time to make money, and yet she's still budgeting time to meet you. Let's talk about preparation. The hair, the nails, the feet.
I have to stop him again because...
I mean, what you doing the other day? Well, I mean, did she be looking raggedy?
That's what I'm saying. He acting like these women don't do this on a regular day. I think that women should try.
You sound like a woman. He sounding like the women. Like, do you know what I gotta go through just to meet with you? That's why you should pay for my time. Like, what? The man, I mean, the women that are going on these dates, they get dressed with their girls. They get dressed to go out. Like, why would a man really put too much thought? I mean, I guess men do think about that, but it's not a reason to say that you're paying for all that.
And that's my thing. Like, I'm gonna just say this real quick, ladies. Make sure y'all look good every day. Okay, 95% of the time. Is that realistic, Precious? 95% of the time. 95% of the time. Let's say 90%.
I would say 80%. Realistically, 80%. Because 20%. I mean, we're women. You know the conversation we had before going. So you gotta have. I mean, realistically, a man is not gonna see a woman look top notch 100% of the time, 95% of the time. I would say 80% of the time. You should know what she looked like from the bare skin to the, you know what I mean, all of that, to the sweats and t-shirts, like, you know what I mean. But 80% of the time, you should be looking right.
So
fixed up.
You mentioned top notch, so maybe top notch could be like 70%. But when I said 95, I mean like you look presentable. You ever seen a lady walk outside and she didn't brush her hair?
Oh yeah.
Like, I think that should be 99%, but I'm gonna give it for the ones that's sick. They walk out. You know how you could be sick and we go
yeah.
You ain't feeling it, or it's that time of the month. It could be anything. So I definitely give the grace for that. I think that 95% of the time with the sweats on, because sweats, that means most of the time you're not wearing makeup and stuff. Someone said no bonnets. No makeup. Okay. So it's kind of like you want to make sure that I hate to say it like this because there's some ladies that don't do this shit. Wash your fucking face. I don't want to see coal in your eyes. I want to share a story with y'all real quick. I went to the wax bar. I'm sorry.
I thought you was gonna say wash your ass, but damn, you got told to wash the face too? Jeez.
Wash your face. Do you understand?
So what happened at the wax?
I've always been delusional, yes.
Delusional as fuck. Wash your face. When I went to the wax bar, I'm sharing this because I need y'all men and women to understand. Precious, hear this story. I went to the wax bar. This was like 3 months ago. I went after that, but 3 months ago, this is the time I heard this story. The wax, what they call them, esthetician.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling me that there's women that come in the wax bar and all right. When they do the bikini wax, bikini wax obviously is in the bikini area. She said that there was times that she's seen feces.
Nuh-uh.
There's times where they smell really bad because they just came from the gym. Why the hell would you go to a wax bar where you're basically almost naked or half naked and your ass stink?
And your legs wide open.
You're wide, like, men, I want y'all to know.
We gotta hold our legs.
It's like you're at, yes, the gynecologist. That's the time where you're wide open, okay? And it's they only have women. I've never seen a male do this. I don't think they can. I don't even know.
What, get waxed?
Yeah, I've never seen a male.
I think men get waxed.
But I'm talking about the ones who's waxing the bikini area for women.
No, I've never seen that.
I've never seen that. I think maybe a doctor is the only one that's able if you're the opposite gender. But you're fully wide open. You bust it open in the bed. You're busting open for the gynecologist, and they busting it open for the wax, if y'all didn't know. You got to be able to clean yourself. You cannot, to me, it's like when you go to the massage parlor, right? Spa. You have to wash.
They shouldn't even service people like that. They should be like, you gotta get off my table. Like, they shouldn't even serve. First of all, they shouldn't have to put it in black and white that you should be clean before you come. But they shouldn't service people who are not clean when they come.
And that's the thing. They just trying to get money, so they still do it. Only some estheticians will be like, I'm not doing it. But I brought this story to say, you guys, I'm not trying to change the subject too much, but I did say that women should be, looking presentable. Presentable is what I'm saying. Clean. 95% of the time, because you never know. It could be a career opportunity. It could be someone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be all about relationships. I just think that if you're an adult, you have to look right.
Yeah.
And even though everybody's not going to be in between your legs, but you still need to make sure that your hygiene is proper. Because you ever smell someone between their clothes?
Yes.
I'm done ranting. That was a rant, y'all. All right, I'm done. But I just want y'all to know, because when these men are men, when you're out here dating, you got to understand, you don't want a dirty lady. You want someone who is well put together, because if she's not well put together and you date her, you marry her, your house is nasty. She's nasty. The kids are nasty. They don't care about stuff. You want someone that cares about that part. That's the nurturing part of a lady. And if she's not able to do that properly, that is not a wife. Men be marrying these nasty ass females. Don't marry them. And this sounds crazy, but for a lady, you do not want that. That is not a wife. Because if, let's say, and it does need balance. So let's say you're a man and you're not the cleanest. Because there's men that are not the cleanest.
Right.
I'm not talking about what hygiene. I'm just talking about like everything else. Who the hell is gonna do it? Because if you're dirty as hell and she's dirty as hell, your house is sour.
Yep. Sour, nasty, unorganized.
We need balance. So you're dirty, she's clean. Cool. Make it work. But you don't want a dirty ass lady. Don't do it. I promise you, it's gonna be hell. You need someone that loves a clean house, loves a clean ass.
Seriously, a clean face, all of that.
I'm done. All right. Like I said, we all out here, we're trying. There's days on here I come, like I said, I have 4 kids, so I'll come straight from the kids. I might not always be well put together all the time, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, I'm clean. You ain't gonna see.
I know that's right.
I tell you that, but I don't come here all well put together sometimes because I be running. But guess what? I'm working on that. See, I know I don't. And I'm working on it. I told my husband the other day I was going to work on, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to make sure I still do what I want to do as far as how I look. Anyway, hold on. Thanks, Instagram. Thunderbolt Nelson. Thanks so much for the support. He said that men need to be clean, leading by example. Yeah. I think that men should be clean, body for sure. That I don't think because you're a man and you was a dirty ass teenager that you got to keep that up.
Right.
Come 18, you need to be clean because no lady should be attracted to a dirty man, and they should not have to tell you how to wash your butt either. We went off topic, but it's a well conversation because we talking about singles dating.
Have you ever come across a dirty man? I don't think I've ever come across a dirty man. Like as far as like cleaning up and body wise.
Well, you never know if a man is, so we got dirty as in body, like hygiene, and then we have dirty house. To me, honestly, you would never know if a man is dirty unless he lives with you. If he's coming to visit you, then some men just be on their best foot. Like they're going to make sure that they pick up whatever it is that you like. So if you don't like shoes in the house, they're going to make sure they don't have shoes in the house. But if you live with them, some of that shit go out
the window.
Yeah. But I don't think all men are that tidy. I should say that. I think that most men are not as tidy.
Right.
From experience, hearing it, listening to, all these damn stories.
I mean, just biologically, we just pay attention to detail differently than men do anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I just think we just pay attention to certain things that they don't. Not saying that it's wrong that they don't pay attention to it, but their mind is just not there.
Yeah. Hey girl, what's up?
Hey, Tarika.
She says, that's a damn shame. You absolutely correct. Women need to be clean and fresh. She also said, you got to remember some women don't know how to take care of their hygiene, and it's sad. And you know what? It's because sometimes the moms are not teaching. Now, this is from experience. When I say experience, it's not always my experience. I do have family. I got friends, right? From my experience, the mother needs to teach this. Like, for a lady, there's certain ways to clean. And the only way you're going to know is if you're just a curious teenager or your mom taught you. And I think that some women miss that. And, but that's not an excuse. I think you still could learn, but yeah.
Yeah. I had one of them moms, when you clean, she saw one hair. Nope, do it over.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get back into it.
the shoes, the dress. Beauty is a process. She's taking time to put herself together to meet with you for a date. And once again, she doesn't know you at all. The least you can do, brother, is pay for a meal.
All right, so to end this topic, the least the man could do is pay for the meal because of the preparation of the lady just being in your presence. Do you agree with that?
I don't think that the least he can do is pay for the meal because she has to prepare to see him, because he has to prepare too. I think that, again, you can't tell a man what to do with his money. I think that if a man is intentional about a woman, then that's one of the things that he probably will do. He probably will pay for the meal because it's in his nature to do that. It's in his character to do that. Sometimes it's just not in the man's character to do it. Sometimes they're cheap, like his friend is. Like, hey, my friend is cheap. But I don't think that he should do it just because you have to prepare to see him, because you got to prepare to see the world daily. So should you get paid for that? I mean, become a model.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you. I don't think if that's the reason, people have their reasons, but I don't think that should be a reason.
Right.
Your reason should be more like solid. Like, I want to pay because I don't think women should pay for the date because I am a masculine, romantic, courting type of guy. Mm-hmm. I pay for everything. I hold the door. Like, I'd rather him say something like that. But I think men are entitled to do what they want. But just understand, if you're doing what he's doing, you're not going to come across a genuine wife-like type of lady. And that's where I'm getting it at. I think you need to date with more intention. Fuck what she got going on. Like, we don't care how she got to get ready. Like,
for real, she got to do that anyway. She gotta get in the shower anyway. She got to get dressed anyway.
Thank you. Like, that is what you don't worry about all that, because that's what she needs to do. Like, think about a job interview. Do they care how you got to, let's say, the interview, or do they want to hear what comes out your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to get you the job. That's how it needs to be with dating.
Yep.
That's all right. Make sure y'all like this
together
video.
To meet with you for a date, and once again, she got.
Make sure y'all like this video, subscribe. We're gonna get into the next topic, you guys. Comment.
What you do for a living?
I'm a mental health therapist in the emergency room here in Atlanta.
Health therapist. Do you have any children?
Yeah, I have a son who's 13 years old.
Have you ever been married?
Yeah, I was married back in 2015 for less than a year.
Okay.
All right. That's my first time hearing that one. He was married for less than a year. How you married for less? I mean, it happens, but
would that be considered like an annulment?
No, I think the annulment is the first 3 months. And I think
we got somebody calling us, child. I think we got our first caller.
All right. Go ahead. Well, mute yourself first. Make sure it's legit. All right, y'all.
It is. You're now on the show.
Okay, then it must be a little bit of a delay. But this is Black Lexicon.
Hey, Black Lexicon, how are you?
I am fine. I thought I would at least call in, say hello. You know, at least you get to hear my voice
Okay.
virtually. I know,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, but, I saw the title and you know with the intimidation, but you know what I noticed the reason that could occur is unfortunately a lot of our lovely women get into this competition with their man. And it's not necessarily just her man, but it's any man. So when a black man meets a woman who has accomplished things, it's like, okay, he done already lost the competition before it's even started.
Mm.
So he doesn't, you know, they get caught up in that mindset when really, you know, two people, a male and a female, getting together, it's not about competition. And I think some of this dating things that have to do with who pays and so on and so forth kind of boils down to that too. I'm not speaking from like an expert opinion, but I definitely have gone through those vibes too many times to where I've actually had to set a girlfriend down and just plain flat out ask, why do you feel like you need to compete with me? Why do you feel we need to be competitive? I thought we were, you know, trying to develop and build something together. I didn't know you had to compete to prove to you and maybe someone else that you could compete with what I'm doing or even outshine or outdo what I'm doing.
Mm.
And that's fine, but you know, really, men should compete with men,
Yeah.
not men and women competing with each other. So I'm getting this, I would, the competition thing is getting that man against man vibes rather than a man and a woman trying to be friendly and share, you know, wonderful experiences and develop new fun experiences and you know, uh, cross fun, cross entertain, and you know, skip all the other things that could normally come out of maybe enjoying each other. But it's a learning experience with someone who's lived a life that you just it wasn't meant for you to necessarily live because everyone is unique.
Okay. So competition is what you're seeing. I have a question. Lady Di, did you want to chime in before I ask the question?
Good.
So my question is, did she tell you outright that she was competing with you, or was this something that you clearly could see? Because is that something that women say, that I'm competing with you, or?
No, you pick up the vibe. So what I picked up was envious of certain things that I possessed that they just had to do better than that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I went out and picked up a vehicle, a new vehicle, oh gosh, yeah, well, you got to go out and get a vehicle that's slicker than my vehicle.
Oh wow.
And you know, that's not a problem, you know, but you know, once you start going down that path of she's competing with you, then you're not really together.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out with some guys or two guys, it's 3 against 1 instead of 2 against 2, like instead of 2 against 2.
Right.
So it'll take time, I think, for individuals to recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
And it does matter for a woman as to what she accomplishes. But as far as really beginning to understand a man, those things should not have anything to do with it.
Okay.
If it goes beyond her character, her values, if it's explaining all those things, then if it's enhancing all those things, then that's something different. But the material value of those things are not important.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you're trying to build and bond and build and bond, in my
Right.
opinion.
I definitely agree.
It's kind of like I don't think people know how to date. So we're talking about women competing. It's like they're looking at it as like a sport. Like, what are you competing about? You can't compete with a man. You're like the opposite.
Right.
What you're supposed to do is provide the opposite. So it's weird to hear you say that that's what women are doing. That's what the vibes that you get. But I think it's when women are making money, they are already trying to compete with you. I'm making this amount, you're making close to this amount, and what do you have to offer? They start to think like this. And I think that's where the competition starts to come in at. And also, I think when women compete, it's more like they're intimidated.
Yeah.
Opposite, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all women, and it's only with certain guys that they'll do that. But there's always the one guy that the only thing they're going to compete for is his attention. They're not going to necessarily compete against him. They will compete for his attention. As a matter of fact, they can do both. They can compete against him and compete for his attention. So it's not just I'm going to compete against you, but for some reason, our culture, if I look at other cultures, and they all have individuals within those cultures that do that. But for the most part, most of those cultures don't have their males don't go through their females being competitive with them.
Right. They work with them.
They work together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a man should expect that from a woman.
Right.
Not end up with, and even in the conversation, it can go that way. I know you've been in conversation where even online, even in a chat or even on a panel where you say, hey, I'm doing this, I can do that. And some guy will come along and say, yeah, well, I can do that better. I can do this. Or even the other way where the female will say, well, I got that, or I can do this, or I can do that better. Keep your eyes on that. You'll see it. It's going to continue to pop its real rear head up here and there. Be just between chats. It's just not that. It's not that it's people. It's a bad thing between individuals, but it really doesn't establish the proper kind of relationship that two people can have, even on a friendship level. I mean, my good friends, the competition is just a little bit different. It causes us to improve each other.
Right.
Where, okay, you got me this month, but guess what? Boom, next month I got you, and you just keep going up and up and up together.
Right.
So you don't win. Some months you win, some months you lose. But between a man and a woman, it should never be that way. It's a very distinct thing, and I've noticed that it is prevalent, especially amongst professional beautiful, and I'm a stress that beautiful, wonderful African American professional women, and
Wow.
they are losing out on meaningful relationships because they don't understand that it is not a competition with that man. It might be with the rest of the world, but not with that man.
Well, y'all heard it here. Black Lexicon said it should not be a competition with that man. Okay. We appreciate you for calling in so much. Definitely
Okay.
call in again. We're going to go back to the live show, but thank you again. We appreciate you.
You betcha. Catch y'all later.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, thank you, Black Lexicon, for calling in. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I was on mute.
So competition. Okay.
Y'all gotta stop with this competition. You should not compete at all. Don't compete with each other.
Don't compete. Complete. You're supposed to become one. I don't want to be with anyone. Well, first of all, I wouldn't even want to compete with you. Now, mind you, I am a competitor by nature because I play sports. But if we're going to compete, it's going to be us against whoever or whatever. It's not going to be me against you. But yeah, you shouldn't compete with each other. You should definitely complete. So we do have another caller. Do you want to take this caller now, or should they call back? What do you want to do?
Put it on mute and see first, and then we could take it now. All right, you guys, thanks so much for calling in. I do have some requests in the back as well. So we're gonna get into it, and then we could finish the show. Let's see. All right, so while she's handling that, make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, and share this live. We are live on most Wednesdays around 7. And I say most because sometimes some things happen really on my side, but we're going to try to get there. But she's talking to somebody, so we're going to see if they're serious with talking on a public platform. See.
All right, so we have Jermaine here. Jermaine, you're live on our show. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. I think it's a very interesting topic, mainly because I think men's opinion don't really get, people don't really ask men's opinion on this. They just assume. So I think it's a really good topic. Really good topic.
Okay, and what would you like to add?
Well, I never got the phrase. I never understood the phrase. Like when they say men are intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when a man is intimidated, it's more like someone has power over them, right? If a woman has money, unless she's your boss or something like that, I don't see how we're intimidated. I will say this though, men are very cautious and we tend to use logic as best as we can. There's a study about lottery winners that are married, right? And it showed that if a woman is in a marriage and she wins the lottery, she's twice as likely to divorce. And if a man wins the lottery, he's more likely to stay married. So there's something about a woman being the breadwinner that is a turnoff to women, right?
Wow.
And I think women want to establish that, and that's why they say men are intimidated, in order to, like, I guess, make men step their game up or whatever, or not even approach them. I think that's why they keep saying that.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I will say this though, if I did, and I don't mean this in a sexist way when I say this, if I married a woman that made more money than me, and the house would have to be in my name.
Mm.
So pretty much, I trust more that me as a man wouldn't kick my wife and kids out. Especially, most people wouldn't kick their kids out. But I trust as a man, me more likely that I wouldn't kick my wife out for an argument or for something stupid than I would for a woman who has the house in her name. She'd kick me out for some of the stupidest things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why, even if you are married, I think you should have married to a woman that makes more money. You should have the house in your name, right? Of course, you have to have a job. This is not something, you're not broke and just have the house in your name.
Right.
But you'd have to have the house in your name. And also, I think that lends more to the idea of a woman being a helpmeet, because even if a woman makes more money than you, she should be, like I said, I don't want to sound sexist, but she should be using that, or whatever talents, it doesn't have to be money, but whatever talent she has to build the man she has, or help him build the man to what he aspires to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say I drove trucks, right? Taking money out of the equation. Let's say I drove trucks, and my wife knows I drive trucks, right? But I work for a company, and I want to get my own truck. If she sees a truck on sale, she shouldn't just drive by and say, "Oh, that's interesting. Truck is on sale. Oh, $10,000. Okay." And then drive by. She should be like, "Oh, I have to pull over. Let me take that number down.
Mm-hmm.
Text it to my husband. Hey, look at this truck. Come check it out. I know you know about, the inside, the engine, everything. Come check it out." So even if you have money, I think women should understand that there's certain order of a family, order of a household that would prevent any kind of intimidation or even divorce. If you understand that your money is not just for you, but it's for your family, for your husband, whatever, I think that helps a lot. And that's what we're missing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jermaine, for calling in. That's a great perspective. That lottery story, I've never heard that before, but when you think about it, it does make sense. And then your perspective on the house. Hey, if she's the breadwinner, then the house gonna have to be in my name. I think that's pretty interesting. So we appreciate you for calling. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Great show.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
So for Jermaine, just wanted to say this. I like what you gave on the insight as far as what a lady should do. And I realized when I married now, seeing some women, they don't like to cooperate in the sense of, you see, like, for example, the story that he gave about seeing something on the side, let me get the number. Like, it's like we're not working as a team. So that's kind of what I got from his message, is that we need to work as a team.
And that's being thoughtful. That's being someone who's a part of your vision, right? So that woman's going to see differently than another woman who may just want to be with you for the come up or till you come up. A woman that is seeing the vision like you're seeing the vision, she's going to see that truck on the side of the road, and she's going to go over there and get that number, and she's going to call and, hey, who's in charge of this? Pass that. So yes, what he said was very important. All right, so we have another caller. Y'all about to call us a damn, aren't y'all? Y'all about to call us a damn, y'all are. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Did you want to go to another topic, or are we just doing all the calls tonight? It's up to you.
Take the call. If there's a pause, we'll go straight to the topic.
All right. Definitely call back. I saw the number. Definitely call back. We know this person.
Okay.
So, right. I'm waiting for them to call back though. But thank you guys for calling in. We've gotten a good couple of calls so far. But here we go. Good evening. Thank you for calling into the show. How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Lady Di is here with me as well.
I'm all right. I'm trying to. Lady Di, what's going on? How are you?
You gotta introduce. I know who you are, but the folks don't know who.
This is Sean Bolden.
Who is it?
Sean Bolden.
Oh, what's up, Sean? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
All right. So thanks so much for watching and calling. And what would you like to add to the show?
Well, what's interesting, I just heard the gentleman's reaction, and he did make some valid points in reference to working as a team, as Lady Guy said. But the intimidation was the topic. Women with money intimidate. I just don't get that. Intimidation is something of fear. Maybe some men are intimidated by women with money, but are they really? Or are women just with money, like men with money, or just power hungry and thirsty and abuse that power and bully their spouses?
So you're saying that they're not intimidated by the money?
I don't think that they're intimidated. Now, I think that sometimes people with money bully people who have less money than them, and that might be intimidating or might come off as intimidating to some. But I just think that money gives power, and power is intoxicating, and that intoxicating power is just something that some people don't know how to manage.
Okay. Well, that's a interesting perspective.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. So I don't think a lot of men are intimidated. I think women are insecure about it. So like if they're making more money and you're not making more than them, then they feel like the chemistry is off, because women believe that men should make more money because they should be paying for the bills. So if she's making more money than you, she thinks that she has to pay the bills. And they use that you guys are intimidated because they don't know what else to say instead of just being honest. I think that women should be honest about their feelings and not just making up stuff and just putting words out there, because I don't think every man is intimidated by your money. But there are some men that are, and I think it's because of fear. Fear that she makes more money than me, then she's going to feel that she doesn't need me. So then they react in that way, and they may seem a little insecure, and then she says that he's intimidated, when it's not that that he's intimidated. He's just insecure of the fact that you can just go, because that's what women do. They get money and they're out. Some women. So that's my thoughts on that.
That's interesting, and I can understand and agree. And it kind of lends to the point that I was making, that some people just abuse their money. If you're feeling like because you have more money as a woman, that your over or your man is less than because of traditional, then you need some maturity building, and vice versa. If you feel that you're intimidated because your woman is making more money, and you need to feel like the man of the house, and that you need to mature. And I think that the immaturity of those who have money lends to that power structure that I was just describing, that is intoxicating, that is abused. Because sometimes immaturity just don't know how to balance the fact that although I have money, there's still structure and structure that I can abide by, that I learned out before I had the money, or maybe even after I got the money.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. So maturity definitely has a lot to do with it, because if not, you're gonna get wrapped up in a power struggle, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But we appreciate you for calling, Sean. Thank you so much. Definitely. Thanks so much. Thank you so much. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. All righty.
All right. So thank you so much for calling. The phone lines will stay open until, what time is it? Until 15 more minutes, and then we're going to shut that down. So if you want to call, get it in within the next 10 minutes. All right. So let's get back to the show.
How old are you? Okay. How old are you?
I'm 39.
What kind of woman you looking for, Tony?
Somebody who God-fearing, outgoing, nice personality, somebody who wants to connect, and somebody who's willing to just explore the world together.
Okay. Sorry. What's up, Trey? I just wanted to say hi to whoever's here. Let's finish this for a second and we'll get straight to the caller.
Explore the world together. What are your deal breakers?
My deal breakers, smoking, lying, and inconsistency.
Okay. Should she look a certain way?
Nah.
No.
As long as
You don't care. You don't care how she looks.
I mean, as long as she cute, that's all I care about. And it's about, when you get my age, you know what I'm saying, it's about your heart, you know what I'm saying? What can we grow together? You know, and looks are gonna go away. So.
Okay. What about money? Should she make a certain amount of money?
Oh yeah, 70,000 up since I make over 100,000. So I mean, 70,000 is a good point.
Ooh, you got to make 70K to be with Tony. Now listen, some men say that men don't care about a woman's money. So why does it matter to you?
Because I'm the breadwinner. I'm going to be the breadwinner. So I'm going to be the one that's going to be taking care of the bills, doing all. So.
Right, but I'm saying most men wouldn't say a woman had to make 70K. I'm just trying to pick your brain. Why does it matter to you that she has to make at least 70K if you're going to be the breadwinner?
What if I lose my job?
So the question that she asks is valid, and I hope that he answers it correctly because this is important.
What if something happens? What if I get ill? Who gonna, you know what I'm saying? Gotta have a backup plan.
Okay, so I like that. I like the response because, don't just say because it's 2024 and we don't believe in that 50s, no, come with some realistic thoughts. Now, if I was dating him and I was saying when I was dating him, that response seems reasonable because things can happen. And if there's nothing set up, then I guess we're out on the street. So that's amazing. All right. So let's get into the caller for a second. All right, Precious.
All right. Is our caller here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. And your name?
You may call me Hustler and Muscular, also known as H&M, dropping gems, stomping hard like a pair of Timbs.
Okay, Hustler and Muscular, thank you so much for calling into the show. We be seeing you in the chat participating, so we appreciate you for calling in, sir. What would you like to add to our show?
Are men intimidated by women who make more money? No, I'm going to say for the most part, we're not. It ain't about the money. It's about what you do with your money and how you approach other men who either make as much as you or they make a little less. Because based on my experience and what I've seen and heard, a lot of these women who make more money tend to have this arrogance, like, oh, I can do better than you, or yada, yada, yada. But it's not their standards change depending on what kind of man they're dealing with. Because I know I've seen women personally who get with men that make less than them, and they ain't got a problem being the breadwinner in the household. Heck, he don't have a job, period, but she'll take care of him as long as he piping her down at night. You got those crazy cases, so I don't give a damn about your money. It's your attitude. It's the stank-ass attitude that come with them having all that money. Whether they work in corporate America or just work a regular job, if she claims you got to be on her level financially just to get with her, that's a problem. I don't need that.
Okay, so the attitude and the standard seems to change once the wages are increased.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
That'll be like if you married to a man, right now he makes more money than you, but you get promoted to a job and now you're making a couple dollars more than him. Now you're gonna feel like, oh, you should be the head of the household because you make more money. You should be the boss because you make more money. No, Can you do half of the shit that he's doing? As far as the manly stuff around the house, yeah. I think the person who brings home the money, finances the house, fixes the house should be the head. That's where the man comes in.
Okay, well, we appreciate you for calling in, Hustler and Muscular. You standing firm on this, and I can understand why. And I can understand your point of view because there's a head for a reason, and when women get money and they are breadwinning women, successful women, um, sometimes emotionally they are thinking one way, and that takes away from the head position, and it takes a lot to bring them down, and a lot of men don't want to bring a woman down off of that train of thought. They already want her to be thinking a certain type of way, and not from control, just in an orderly fashion. So we appreciate you for calling. Thank you so much.
Yeah, not a problem. Like you said, ain't got nothing to do with no damn control. Or
Right.
you don't want me to have my freedom. You're
Right.
just mad because I can do better than you. No. I'm mad because you forgot your doggone place within the confines of the damn relationship. That's where I have the problem at. It ain't about you having more money than me. It's about you forgetting your place. I'm the man. You're the woman. I'm the head of the household. That's the way it's supposed to be. But now you want to get on your high horse because you got a little bit more money than somebody. No, that's BS in my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's BS. We're going to end it there. Thank you again. Call in again Tuesday, 7-ish.
Sure thing.
All
And
right.
salute to you, Lady Di. You're looking so fly. Take the YouTube street sky. Hi.
Always. Wrap. Thank you so much, Hustler and Muscular. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. It has a
Already did. You know I've been did that. I'm rocking with you for a year. I've been did that.
Not
No,
you.
you telling them to subscribe to your channel.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Trying to send some love your way. Have a good night, love.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
If the mods could drop Hustler and Muscular's channel in the chat, please do so. And whoever else, I don't know if Sean was a content creator or not.
Yeah, Sean Bolden.
Okay, if you could drop his as well. But yes, I like what he said, and that's for women. He said it all. I don't have to say much. Men are speaking. You have to hear them out, regardless of whatever type of platform they're on. I know they say the manosphere and all this stuff. Forget all that. Men want women, and they want to be able to have a successful relationship with them. So just listen to the man, understand what he's saying, ask questions if you don't, and move on. But you have another caller, Precious? All right, so let's get back into it. This clip that I'm playing here is about a man saying that he makes over 100K and he wants his lady to make 70K in order to date him. And it's because it's a security factor, and it's about, in case something happens, she'll be able to provide and pay for the bills so they won't be stranded. So let's get back into it.
So you're saying you'll be the provider, but she should have a good income just in case something happens to you.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do the Kendra Cam.
I'm 6'5".
You 6'5". Oh, you tall. You definitely meet the ladies' height requirement. Okay. So Tony, do you want more children?
I mean, I'm open to it. If my future wife wants a child, then I'm cool. If not, I'm cool with that too. So.
Oh yeah, he also said earlier that he was married for a year. I almost forgot that one. He was married for a year, and I think that's a little suspect. Now, she didn't dig too deep into it because she's trying to proceed with the show. But what other excuse can you give when it comes to you being married for a year besides you picked wrong, or what? What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe he just wasn't ready to be married. I don't know. I mean, after a year, maybe he just got into it and realized that's not exactly what he wanted. I mean, he's on the Kendra G show. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're not dating intentionally, then you're just dating. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean that he's necessarily looking for a wife now.
Yeah.
Maybe it got dry. You know what I mean? He got re-up. I don't know.
Whatever it is, I think is suspect. So if you're dating a man or a lady at any point and they're saying something's been less than a year for a marriage, you need to dissect that, ask questions why. Try to make sure that you're getting honesty too, because you don't want to just be getting with someone and they can't commit long term. And you don't want to get with someone if the pattern is they're always choosing someone who is not marriage minded, because that means that, well, what are you attracted to? you're attracted to the type of person. Maybe you like that type of person. Maybe you're not ready to be married because you need to change on who you like. So it's a lot to dissect. But thank you so much for dropping Hustler Muscler's link in the chat. We have Trey that says, I'm confused. Maybe I failed math. If he provides at over 100K, how can a woman fill in if there is an emergency making 70K? My thoughts, like when I was saying that out my mouth, because that's what he said, I was just like, okay, well, I hope the bills. So if you're framing it like that, that means that you need to live in a place where her 70K can pay for all of the bills, which means you cannot live above your means. The means is 70, not 100 plus, because there's no way in the world she's going to be able to take care of her bills that are at your salary bracket. We want to make sure that it's at her salary bracket. So I hope he understands, and I'm glad that Trey brought that out, that he is making that make sense in his head, because it does not work like that. That they will be on the street or moving out or getting something smaller, selling furniture to pay mortgage. So let's be real, especially if they're driving really nice cars. Cars are expensive. A monthly, you got to have good credit to get a low interest rate, or if you're paying it outright, however you want to do it. And thank you, Precious, for dropping Sean Bowden's link in the chat. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. We have Coco Yoga. What's up again? He picked with lust. Probably. Dude is red flags. Yeah. Let's see what else he got to say.
Okay. Should she be in Atlanta?
Nah, she could be anywhere.
She'll be anywhere. Could she have kids?
What do you mean she could be anywhere? Because now, if she's in goddamn, if she's in California and you're in Texas, what does that mean? That you're willing to do long distance relationship? And then now you have to factor in, is she willing to move? Like, why are you making it complicated? That's why you single. Straight up. I'm just being real. I don't think you should pick someone and just say anywhere. I think you need to have strategy when you're dating. So I don't know. Some of the stuff he's saying is a little off, and I don't think he understands. Like when you're dating, you have to have a realistic approach. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Precious, what about you? Did you heard what he said about dating someone anywhere? You're muted.
I didn't hear him say that part. No.
She asked him, is there a preference on where? Oh wait, I'm laughing. Is there a preference on where you want to meet the girl, the lady that he's looking for? He said anywhere. He could date anywhere, meet anywhere. He doesn't care about location.
I think, again, Kendra G show is just a way for you to have a pool of people. And I don't know how I can understand men going on there and having a pool of people to pull from, but women going on there and having a whole bunch of people to pull from is, I don't know. I just don't know if it's a good idea. I'm not saying don't go on a Kendra G show, because it is entertaining, but it is, you have a lot of people that go on there that tell you that it's overwhelming. So if you're looking for a woman from everywhere on a show that's online, it's like, dude, what do you do again? When do you have the time to be doing all this? Like, it's just a lot. So I don't know. It seems like he wants to keep all of his options open in all 50 states, all the countries,
I agree with Trey too. Long distance, 90% failure rate. Dude is weird.
Yeah, long distance is I don't know. It's you got to be a good long distance dater.
But then you already wasting money. We were just talking about, should a man pay for a date? You already paying for flights. Like, right. What are we doing?
Yeah, she can have kids.
Okay. When was your last relationship?
Last relationship 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
I mean, this might be a little off because some people probably haven't in 4 years, but damn, that's a long time. But you know what? I can't make a face to that because it's hard out here, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I mean, his like last probably serious relationship was 4 years ago, but I'm sure he's dated around. That's what I'm saying. Like, men love to date. They love to just date. And it's like, you know, for him being married a year, he didn't even give that a chance. So, why would you want to get married if you can have the opportunity to date who and whomever and wherever, like, you know what I mean? I don't think men are necessarily rushing towards that. You have to be a man that has a certain mindset. And like you were asking me earlier, it's just, you could tell when a man has that mindset and when they don't.
yeah, I think he was playing around a lot in the beginning, and he probably married someone that wasn't marriage minded.
Yeah.
He's probably trying to get serious now, but let's see.
You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last
2
time?
months ago.
When?
2 months ago.
He
The
answered
question
that.
is the last time you was intimate with somebody. He said 2 months ago.
Yeah, you just acted with the other guy, so I was listening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3 flaws you have to work.
Mm-hmm. He was listening. He was ready for that one. 3 months ago. You on mute.
Sorry.
He should have just said yesterday. I mean, he should have just been like, told the truth yesterday. Because he just said it so quick. It's like you had your answer ready for that question.
What's up? Menelik says dating shows are a waste of time. Melly Monaco have the same men coming on her show, and Kendra have all type of freaks on her show.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Menelik, yeah, that I watched. I've even don't go on TikTok. It's a nightmare on TikTok. You want to talk about freaks? They really come out on TikTok. But yeah, it's just, you could just, like I said, you could just tell when people are serious and when they're not. And I don't know. I don't think this guy's serious.
Nah.
Work on.
I would say communication, being spontaneous, and work on being romantic more.
Okay. And why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
I got good D. I know how to use my tongue, and I'm well educated.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, he said good D. He know how to use his tongue. But it's been maybe it has been 3 months. I don't know. Maybe he just ready to use that tongue. And then he's educated. And then the things that he said about the things he could work on, those sound like things that women probably told him. Like, you need to be more romantic. You need to communicate better.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay. Are you going to truly work on those things, or are you going to waste somebody's time? Maybe he wasted that woman's time. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she was like, hey, look, maybe you talked a good game, but you really wasn't up for the challenge here. So, and not even a challenge, but just the responsibility of being, the head of a household. That takes a lot of discipline and takes a lot of focus. And it takes a lot of energy into your family. And so when you in the streets, or when you on the outside, or when you worry what other people saying, you're not really putting the focus where it should be. And with him saying his tongue and his D, I mean, where you want her to focus, sir? Huh? Where would you like her to focus?
Man.
Crazy on the internet for all so what do you think going to go into his inbox? The educated woman?
Hell no.
Did he throw that in there for a little twinkle twinkle, drizzle drizzle, whatever they saying nowadays? Sprinkle sprinkle, I don't know. It's like what
Especially when him leading with his height is already a red flag.
Right, because I mean, I feel like sometimes, so he's tall, he's really tall. I've been around people who are really tall who are awkward with their height. It's like, there are some men that would like kill to be that tall, and then there's some men that are just really awkward with their height. And it's like, if you're 6'5", you're 6'5". Like, certain things don't need to be said. Certain things don't need to be expressed, more than they. I mean, you tall. We can see you tall.
Right.
But I think certain people are just awkward, or they lead with that because there could be insecurity in other areas. It's just,
Yeah.
he's just gonna give me the vibes that he really serious to, truly date someone or court someone. He may want to see who floods his inbox. He want to, feed his ego a little bit, because he probably was with a girl that didn't work out, and trying to get underneath somebody else. He just don't seem like somebody that's serious to me.
I don't think he's serious.
Really don't.
Talking.
Really don't.
He's even married. He just said that to get women, since women want married men. That's what I think. But that's my opinion.
I can't believe he said that in the end. Why would a woman be lucky to be with you?
And then he
like, you said you watched this show before, sir. Did you rehearse that line at the end?
Like, you gotta let her finish, because now you look like you rehearsed it. Why would you want to be or date someone who's rehearsing like their lines? Like, just be authentic. Like, for example, when me and Precious come on this show, we pick topics, we pick videos, but I promise you, what comes out of our mouth, it just comes straight from our dome.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't got no notes. Like,
right.
Only time I'm writing is if we want someone to talk and finish what they're saying, and I gotta write down my thoughts just so I won't lose what I said.
Right.
But I
Right.
don't have nothing to look at when I'm talking to y'all. So the fact that okay.
Wait, I believe he wasn't good in bed and not romantic. His ex-wife left him. I think that he probably was a lot of talk and not enough action.
Ooh.
And again, being married, it's not just, it's literally having both of you having the mindset that we're going to start a life together. Like, your old life is done. You know what I mean? Like, and not necessarily done like you have to cut everybody off and things like that, but your mind, you just have to think differently. Like, it's about me and you now. It's not about, you going out every weekend, or you spending money on frivolous things, or, it's just a whole different mindset that you should have going into it, knowing that. And when you're a man going into it, not taking those things seriously, and a woman wants to be married and you marry her, she's not going to waste any time not walking away, because she knows what she wants. You know what I mean? So
we're trying to show y'all red flags. I hope y'all listening. For the women, don't just date and understand who you're dating.
mm-hmm.
Like, don't be a fool, especially if he's talking about his height, 6'5", and he makes over 100K. That's to get you, because that's what you want. But you still have to vet. You gonna say something?
I was just going to say, and what's crazy is he makes the money that a lot of women, so we don't know if he really makes this money, but he makes the money that a lot of women come on that show looking for, right? So again, you gotta, when you have a vision for something and you want it, you see things differently than other people see it. So I'm not saying that he's lying, but he's presenting himself in a way, and he is tall. You can clearly see that he's tall, but he's presenting himself in a way where it's just like, all right, y'all, it's open season. Come get me. He's not saying, you know what I mean? He like, look, it's open. The park is open for the rides to be rode on. He's not saying, I'm looking for someone to truly build a life with and things like that. It comes off as more of, I was in a relationship, it didn't work out, I am back on the market, and I'm now on the Kendra G show. It doesn't seem, and like I say, he it doesn't seem like he's looking for a wife, but for someone to want to go on a couple dates with for somebody that want him to pay for their food, he seems like he'd be the person to do that.
He don't. Yeah, he's saying he don't want nobody broke in his eyes because he ain't paying for everything. But I guess
I think that is his preference, and you could have that preference, but at the same time, those women who are making that type of money, like some of the callers called in and talked about,
Mhm.
so it's like, do they not have that attitude that you don't want, to come with that type of money? Are they going to not respect the level of the order of how you want it to be? But like I said, he doesn't seem like he's talking about marriage. So even if he wants that woman to make that amount of money, I think it's more so, you could treat yourself well just like I could treat myself well, and you're not looking for me to do that. Again, I don't think that he's looking to be a provider for a woman. He's looking for a woman to make her own money, which she should be making her own money. But at the same time, a man just knows his responsibility when it comes to marriage.
Mhm. Yes. So, all right, that's the end of that part of this live. But we're gonna get into one more topic, and then we're going to get into the main topic, and then we will end this show. Like, share, subscribe.
We might have to the live call session is over, but we might have to put those names in a bowl and pick one out and show our appreciation for one of them calling. So definitely on the next show, be looking out for that. We're going to be searching for you. So definitely tune in to see if you're the winner. For those who have called, we'll have a little token of appreciation for you.
Yes, definitely. So let's get into this. Precious, you can see that?
Yes. So it says, what are your thoughts? This is a lady. I went on a date with a man who was financially stable, tall, and handsome. But after our second date, I decided to end things. He wasn't the one because the first date was at a shooting range and the second date was bungee jumping. Imagine what the third date would be. Can you help me figure out if I made the right decision or was I overreacting?
All right, so I posted this on my IG. You guys can check it out at Lady Di DTM. DTM stands for Dating to Marriage. Lady Di is my name. So I posted this on my real section of my IG because I actually talk to women and I have clients, and I have moments where situations like this come out. So I wanted to share it because this is something that there are ladies who think like this, and they would end a date or not date a man because of their dating choices. So we all know, or some of us know, about the Cheesecake Factory lady. And I'm using this because these are the things that went viral. But these are just not the main points. But the Cheesecake Factory lady, she supposedly didn't want to go on a date because the man took her to Cheesecake Factory. So this story is about a lady who didn't want to date a man because his dating choices were too risky. Risky made me think of this is so what is it?
This might get risky.
Yes, this might get risky. I'm sorry. This might get risky. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Shout out to you, Hampton. All right. So this is something that ladies, they don't want to be in that type of risk. This is too adventurous for them. So now the question is valid. She asked, can you help me figure out if she made the right decision or was she overreacting? So my answer is yeah, overreacting, because these are just dates. The point of the date is not where you're at, it's you getting to know them. So, for example, me and my husband actually had a client that had this happen to her. And what we discovered is that, at least what James was saying as a man, he said that the man possibly took her out on this date to see if, you know, she is someone that can basically handle some type of pressure. Also to show that he could protect her. So the shooting range, right? We're talking about guns, weapons, right? We're talking about, okay, this is what we need to prepare for. You never know what's going to go out in the world. So if a man is showing that he can protect you, why don't you like that? You're looking at it as in a different aspect. But it was nice to hear my husband say this because he is a man. So to hear what another man is thinking, to kind of understand why this man did these things, is something that we need to look and ask, seek. If you don't understand why a man is taking you somewhere, first of all, still go unless you like him. But ask questions. Why are we so afraid to ask questions? I think that we need to make sure that we are trying to understand a person. Now, if the man says, "Oh yeah, I've been hunting all my life, you know, I know how to delete a person," and you know, it starts to sound a little weird, then you can, you know, make your observation and be like, I don't know. But just ask. What do you think? Was she overreacting or what?
I personally think she was overreacting, but she may see, again, I'm a competitive person. So things like that, like the gun range, I've been to the gun range before. Bungee jumping, not necessarily. We could climb a wall or something, I don't know. But I'm not opposed to doing things that are active, that, you know, you got to be involved in. I've said before that dates shouldn't only be like dinner dates. Like you should do other things. Like, can she critically think? Like I remember I went to what are those rooms where you got to figure out escape rooms. Like I like those things. Like let's figure out some crime or something together. Like, you know what I mean? Where we got to work together, get the clues. Like I like things like that. But she may be a personality where maybe she's quiet, don't really like activities and things like that. And so, you know, I think that she could have talked to him about it. But then again, it's like, if you're not going to be with him and trust him to be in certain situations with you, then it's almost a waste of your time of being there with this man. You know what I mean? She said that he's financially stable, tall, handsome. I mean, girl, I mean, hey babe, can we sit down the next day? I mean, you know, but to say that, you know, you don't want to go on a third date, or imagine what the third date would be, maybe you could speak up and tell him what you like the third date to be, and tell them about your experiences on the first two dates, you know?
Right.
But overreacting, to me, she's overreacting. But then again, you don't want to be with someone who is not going to take your generosity as a sign of, I like you, I want to be with you, I want to invest in you. She's not taking it that way. I think she's taking it like, this guy is too much. And I don't see that being the case. He likes to be active. Maybe she don't like to be active. I don't know. But I think she's being picky. Like, to me, that's being picky.
Yeah, I think it's being picky. But I agree. I think she's overreacting, but I also think that he could have been more considerate. So dating range, bungee jumping is not a typical date. So I believe that these are conversations. Like, you could plan to go here, but what if she's not comfortable? For guns, some people don't even like guns in their house. So I think,
yeah, but that has to be something. That has to be something that she can't be fearful to speak up on. Like, if somebody said, so the first time I went to the gun range, I was nervous, but it's not like I didn't want to be there, but I was nervous. Mm-hmm. So I expressed that I was nervous, but I end up liking it. But Like some people need to, if you're gonna have boundaries or if you're gonna have things that you're not really okay with, you have to be honest, because if you say okay and then the next thing he plans is like adventurous and things like that, he's gonna think that you like those things. So I think that if it's overwhelming for her of what the activities are, then she definitely needs to be honest, because men are gonna bring you into their world, right? They're gonna do the things, and I'm not saying don't be considerate of the woman, because you do have a woman in your presence and you are entertaining and spending time with the woman, but men are gonna pull you into their world, and bring you in on what they like to do to see if you fit. Like, could I go to the gun range with her? Could I have a good time? Like, is she going to be, the whole time, or is she going to be into this with me? Because this is what I like to do. That's what I've learned, from men. Like, yeah, they're going to be considerate. Consideration is I'm paying for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they also they're going to, this is what I like to do. Let me see if she likes to do it as well. Same thing with restaurants. A lot of men will take you to a place where they probably have gone or like to go, and they see how you fit into the atmosphere or the culture of where, they are and what they're doing.
That's a good point you made, because imagine if she loved the shooting range. They'd probably be married right now. Because they bonded.
Yeah, they be there every weekend.
Yeah.
Doing different guns.
Some people get married because they're so much alike.
Yes.
Like, many things. It could just be a few things. They have great conversation. They love this one particular activity. Maybe
that's part of intimacy. Like, intimacy is not just sex. Intimacy is like, we like doing this together. Like, we really do enjoy doing this. It brings you together. You want to have things that's another thing. Like, when you're dating and things like that, you want to have things that naturally bring you together. You don't want to feel like you're forced to be with someone. So, I say that she's overreacting because I wouldn't have acted that way. But for her, it's not overreacting. It's like, this is not drawing me closer to this man. What the hell are we going to do on a third date? Like, you know what I mean? So maybe she should just leave, go, because if that's what he likes to do and you're not even with it and you're worried about what the third date going to be, mind you could be at home in sweats looking a hot mess, but at least he got you out here doing something. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to look at it like, well, for her, maybe she wasn't overreacting because maybe it's just not something that she would do. But for somebody like me, it's like, oh, what are we going to do on the third day? Shoot, we done went to the gun range. We done went bungee jumping. Like, you know, it's almost like, dang, this guy really knows how to plan a date, or he really wants to do fun things. But some women don't look at it that way. They literally want to sit, look pretty, no activity, nothing. Like, just take me out on a date and that's about it. And I don't know, I think you should do more things than that. How are you going to really get to know each other? I'm big on body language. How are you going to see a person in a situation, or like, you know what I mean? I remember one time I was in a car with a guy, and I think he was just so into the, just us. I mean, we were just leaving the mall or somewhere, and he was so into it. And he was about to hit somebody. I had to be like, wait, like he was really about to hit somebody. Wait, what? Like, you have to know how people are going to handle certain situations or how they are in certain situations. And you're not going to know that always sitting across from the table from them eating, chewing on steak. You're not going to learn somebody like that, hearing click clack on the dishes all the time. No, you got to be in certain different atmospheres, different climates with these people, around other people. How are they socially? Are they kind to other people? You gotta explore.
You have to explore, but I like the dating aspect, because you get to learn more about yourself.
Yes.
So maybe she has never been to the shooting range or anything adventurous like that because she's not interested. But I do believe people should open up and accept certain stuff so you can change. I don't think you being closed in the rest of your life is good either. Now, if you're just one of those where you're so fearful and, you have anxiety attacks, then, that's something you have to work out somewhere else. But I do think people need to open up and learn more. You could learn from this guy. Obviously, he's not the typical guy, because most guys, they're not going to take you to a shooting range as a first date, or no damn bungee jumping. Normally, that's something you do with a person that you trust already. But she, instead of her, you take it as a learning experience. She took it as I'm not interested. So yeah, just learn when you're on dates. Everything is a learning experience, and you can definitely be a different person leaving each situation. And I think that is the most important part of you growing, becoming an adult, thriving as an adult, becoming more wise. There's so much that you can gain, instead of sticking into your 21-year-old mentality. So,
and it teaches you, or it helps you learn him as a person, right? So let's just say he likes to do these activities and you're not necessarily always with it. Well, what can you do to prepare for when he gets home from doing that activity? Or what can you do to help him prepare to get ready for the activity or something like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to be up under him, but if you don't have any interest in what he has interest in, then, I mean, what is he happy around for?
Exactly. Hey, what's up?
Hey, O'Shea.
All right, so let's get into the rest of the video. We're getting into the main topic, you guys. And this is about the lady talking about intimidation.
How old are you? You look cute.
I'm 42. Thank you.
What you do for a living, honey?
I am a business owner. I'm a salon owner. I've been a beauty professional for 24 years. I am an author, best-selling author, speaker, and I help other entrepreneurs earn more, change their mindsets, and level up in business.
Okay. You have any children, Kendall?
I do. I have a 26-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, wow. I'm assuming different men.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. 23-year-old child and a 6-year-old child. That is a huge.
No, girl. 26 and 3. Like 3.
3-year-old. I'm sorry.
3T. Like color. Girl.
That makes a huge difference. 6 and 3. Like you just got out of postpartum, my lady. Like,
it's a no, dog. Randy Jackson.
She says more.
Why are you not with the 3-year-old dad?
Actually, we are both in the beauty industry, but I have pretty much made a pretty big brand for myself, and it was just a lot of differences within, like, because I have I've made a name for myself and he hasn't. It was just like a lot of insecurities, a lot of intimidation.
So right there, she already failed my test, because I don't see any teamwork. What do you mean you made it and he hasn't? How y'all both didn't make it if y'all both in the same industry? So you're putting more money into your business, but you're not looking at wealth of his business. But y'all want men to make more money, but she ain't, not saying she has to help him, but obviously she knows, she kind of got the pattern for her situation. So you could share or shed light or just help, because not all business ideas are a good one. And sometimes timing is not always in the best interest. So it's kind of like you just left him for dead. It was just about me. Well, my business is thriving, so she's out there being busy while he's out there trying to figure out his situation. And that's where I think we as a whole should make sure that we're working together. Because if you have a child with this man, that is your child's father. So you should want the best for him, because he is providing for his child. He was providing for you because you obviously were the mother. So she didn't say if they were married or not, but she would have said ex-husband. So obviously this is not her ex-husband. This is just somebody that she had sex with in her workspace, and they had a child. So that's already a missed red flag right there. But we got to do better. Okay, you messed up, had a baby with him. That don't mean that it stops. Obviously, you guys had a lot in common, so y'all could have made that work. But you want to use that he was intimidated, but you didn't help him, and you're in the same space. So that's where I don't like that.
And then it's like she said, "Well, we're both in the beauty industry, and I made a big name for myself, and he hasn't." Well, you made a baby with his last name now, so I mean, my thing is, she just got pregnant by this man.
Mm-hmm.
26. Your child is 26, and now you have a 3-year-old. She's not with him because she never was with him. She wasn't. So her excuse of, well, we are both in the same industry. Y'all was in the same industry, probably traveling together, probably in the same vicinities together. But she wasn't with him like probably a serious relationship. But the crazy part about it is she's gonna use her success as a reason why they're not together.
Right.
It's like
just throwing excuses out there. That's what I was saying earlier. You can't just make up something. Like, you got to know what you're talking about. It's probably nothing to do with that.
Yeah. 26 and 3. Like, you starting over with a child and you wanted a new man too?
Yeah, like you starting. All right, let's see what else you got to say.
With my brand versus his brand, and because I have pretty much made a pretty big brand for myself, and it was just a lot of differences within because I have I've made a name for myself and he hasn't. It was just like a lot of insecurities, a lot of intimidation with my brand versus his brand, and we just kept bumping heads with the finances and things like that. So
okay. So do y'all co-parent well?
We do.
We do.
Yep.
What's the zodiac sign, Kendall?
I'm a Capricorn.
Capricorn. So we got Kendall, Orlando, Florida, 42, Capricorn, business owner, author, speaker, mom to 2, 26-year-old and a 3-year-old by 2 different men. Have you ever been married?
I have. I've been married twice.
When did you get divorced last?
2018.
Was it the 3-year-old dad?
No.
Somebody else. Okay.
So she has time to get pregnant twice with the huge age gap and get married twice. So 2 baby fathers and 2 ex-husbands. That's 4 men. And none of them work. That's weird to me.
I wonder how long she was married for. Married twice? 2 kids that's not the daddies.
The ex-husband, right? They're not even the fathers. So look, she's gonna say some more. Let's get into it.
Did you marry the 26-year-old dad?
No, actually, I had her at 16.
Okay.
So there we go. No, it's 4. It's 4. So it's 2 baby daddies and 2 ex-husbands. That's a lot to me. Like, okay, you got married when you got pregnant when you were young. That's typical today. All right, cool. But then you kept going. Like, come on, you have to have.
So the only thing that I can think of is that I wonder how she started these businesses or this money or however she got where she got. Because it's probably because of a man.
Right.
And I'm not saying that she didn't work for anything that she has, but what I'm saying is that's a lot of men. And then the men that you had children with they're not your husbands. Who helped you make this name for yourself?
So you think she She probably didn't get money from the first guy since they got pregnant young. But the
Right.
other 3 guys, you're
'Cause
thinking
you gotta think a baby at 16, you gotta hustle. You gotta figure out how to take care of a child.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out something. 16 child support. He ain't making nothing. He ain't getting nothing. She ain't getting nothing.
Something.
You know, he's young. Not saying that the brother couldn't be working, but I mean, at that age, how much money are you really making? You know what I mean?
She probably wasn't there for a minute too.
Yeah, so it's like I just feel like a man was involved there, because to have all those men in your life and not marry any of them, what are your true intentions anyway as a successful woman? In your head, you're going to think that they're going to be intimidated, because if somebody provides you with something and then they set boundaries and standards and things like that, and you don't want to, you know, confined to what's going on, then you're gonna, you know, trying to find a way out and say, oh, well, they're intimidated. No, you wanted things a certain way because you probably been playing some people, taking them out of their money or whatever the situation. And this is just my observation. This is an opinion. But now you're on a Kendra G show at 40. What is she? 43?
42.
42 with a 3-year-old. A 3-year-old.
It's like she just wanted to make a name for herself, and that's it.
Yeah.
And Houston got pregnant twice, and then she wanted to get married so she could say she had the whole package. So she has the money, and I got a man, I got a husband, I got a house, I got a family. But I don't think the intentions for her were in the right place. And she's using excuses of intimidation instead of just looking at herself. I think I seen in the chat that they were saying she was selfish. I agree. Because the fact that she said that the 3-year-old's baby father, right? I made his name for my brand. I made it my brand, but he didn't get to my level. But y'all were together. Like, imagine me and James, right? My husband, James. And he had a podcast and I had a podcast. My shit was thriving. And his was, you know, nothing was going on. So I'm supposed to just watch him no, this is how you do
right.
that.
And then leave because yours is doing better. Like, what?
Yeah. And then, finances were clashing. Like, no. Like I said before, and I'm always going to say this, you have to look. And that wasn't her husband, but that is her child's father. And I do give kind of the same type of response. The child's father, you're together. That is a family. You just don't have the marriage, but it's the same to me because you guys are together. You're in a relationship. You're living together. You're splitting bills, or he's paying bills. You're whatever it is. That's like a marriage, and you have that child that keeps y'all together as well. You have to look at that person as your family. That is your family. That is just not your husband. Husband is a great title, but I think women look past husband, because I could divorce a husband, but with family, you can't divorce your family. And I think if we change our mindset and look at that as my family, look at that person like your mother, your father, you know, people you can't get rid of, your bloodline. I don't care how much you don't like somebody, that bloodline gonna stay there. Your husband is the same. And for her not to look at that man like that, child's father, and they're together, same thing, is pathetic. And I think that's very selfish. We got to stop that. Stop looking to get more than the next person, which we were talking about earlier. Thanks for the people who called about competition. I think what Black Lexicon was talking about, the competition. Hustler and muscular, like, we got to stop this competition thing. It's not about that. And then you throw words, intimidate. You're intimidated. And I'm not saying that there are men that are not intimidated. I'm pretty sure there's a few. Small, but that's not it. So let's see what else you got to say.
Oh, I was a baby.
Oh, what's up, Sir Hill? What's up? What's up? Thanks for stopping in. This is a dope collaboration between Crate Creator Salute, Lady Di, and The Real Precious. Make
Every
sure you
Wednesday.
subscribe to his channel or follow his IG. I think he's very active on IG right now, but definitely search his name into the IG platform and it will pop right up. And if any mods in the chat want to drop his link, please do so.
He was a kid. We both were children, so it just didn't work out. Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's do it. We got Kendall, Orlando, Florida, 42 Capricorn, business owner, author, speaker, mom to two, by two different men, never married. What kind of man you looking for?
Just someone who has good morals, good standards, good business sense. A lot of times I guess I'm intimidating maybe to men. I don't know. And I guess it's because I have so much going on. A lot of times it can be intimidating.
All right, there go the link, you guys. I'm sorry, it was already there. For Sarah Hill, make sure you subscribe to his channel. There, she said it right there. Let's see what else she has to say.
Okay. What are your deal breakers?
My deal breakers, I don't really have any deal breakers. Just a man of vision, a man that knows how to lead, and just good morals. I don't really have deal breakers like that.
Does he have to look a certain way?
Looks, not so much. Just, have a good lifestyle because I do work out. I go to the gym at least 3 or 4 times a week. So physically fit is a big part of my life, and I would like someone that can work out with me, can go walking with me. You gotta be physically fit because I do a lot. So
okay. Should he make a certain amount of money?
I don't want to put that. As long as he make an honest living and he's a hard worker and understands how to lead, I am okay with that. But what I've ran into in the past is men that will become intimidated with me because I make money the non-traditional way. I have my salon. I'm also a stylist, but I coach as well for a living. And so I may have a conversation, or I may do like a deep dive call with someone, and they may take my $20,000 course. I may have spent 15 minutes on the phone with them and I made $20,000. Is that going to be intimidating to a man that may just work a 9 to 5?
I don't like that she's speculating. Like, why are you assuming that a man or men are going to be this way? Because if you're able to, if this is true, if you're able to have someone pay for a $20,000 course, then that means you can help the next person. It don't gotta be that man, but since we talking about dating, the man that you're gonna get exclusive with, I'm pretty sure he has a talent, and you can help his ass make $25K.
She don't want to. She don't want to. It's about her. Well, he gonna have to be able to go walking with me. It's like, no, why can't it be? He has to have the good lifestyle so we can go together. So we can, it just sounds like a lot of, like you said, speculation, and you have to fit into her lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And no man, she said men are intimidated because she does a lot. Well, men don't want women that do a lot. What makes you think a man want a woman who do a lot? He wants a woman who has her eyes on the vision that he has. So if you doing a lot in your own world, it's almost like, how are we going to build a world together if you're doing so much already in your own world? Again, she coming on to Kendra, where your pool of people, just by the numbers alone that Kendra does, is just going to be, it's going to put you in a place where you have a pool of people to pick from. But again, why would you want to have that many people to pick from?
That's a good point. Yeah, it's harder to date when you're older anyway, because at that age, 42, you do expect a man to have something going on. I don't believe in if you're 42, getting with a man who doesn't have their stuff together and you're 42. I do believe that people have their own time to get it going. Everybody has different lifestyles. But at that age, you pick somebody in that same space. Maybe you guys can grow together. But when you're like 40 something years old, I'm not saying that that man needs to make 20K, a month with her. But he does need to be able, when I say himself together, I'm just talking about being able to provide for himself. At that age, and you're dating. Now, if you're not dating and you can't provide for yourself yet, then by all means, you get your life together. But as far as you going out to date and trying to find a wife, you cannot find a wife if you don't have your stuff together. You got to have it together, just like the lady has to have it together. So that's all I'm saying. We have to make sure we understand when to date. I don't think everybody should be dating if their mind is not right with all aspects and your money is not right. Right is just being able to pay for yourself. You don't have to split bills. There's a difference. But that's if you're dating. If you're not dating, it don't matter because it's just you. You're responsible for yourself, so you do what you got to do if it takes you to 50.
Right.
It don't matter. Just get it one day.
Do what you need to do.
That's it. There's no judgment on that. But if you're dating, no, definitely not. Because then you're gonna be like what Precious said earlier. She was with a man that something happened to his card, and he couldn't your date, and he never paid her back.
Never paid me back. I mean, I don't do things for people to, looking for them to do it. But at the same time, it lets me know where your headspace is, what your character looks like a little bit. Little things bring you into who people are without them having to say it or having to, and it's no love loss. It's like, okay, well, that's just not in your wheelhouse to do a certain thing like that. So this is what it is.
Sir Hill says, too many women eventually become the man they want, and when men don't want them, they use men to men are intimidated. No, we're heterosexual. We want feminine women who are ladies.
Right. Saying a man is intimidated, it's like you have to then reevaluate the type of men that you are attracting. Because, if a man is intimidated by you, that means that you are exhibiting a certain type of behavior that you think in your mind is making him feel intimidated. Meaning you can't be operating in feminine energy and saying that a man is intimidated by you unless you feel like you're the alpha or you're the head when you're around that man. You know what I mean? Because if you are around a man who didn't mind the money that you were making, then that wouldn't even be an observation. It seems like she just needs a reason to not be with a man. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you throw that out there on the dating show that you're on? Well, I just feel like men are intimidated by me.
You already dismissed half the guys that were listening. Meaning they're not going to date you because you said that. Not because they're intimidated. And then you might have a guy that's making like, I guess around what she's making. And they may consider it because they could be scared of dating women without money because, there's gold diggers out there. So it just depends. But I don't think she would get a lot of men trying to date her saying things like that. I think she needs to watch understand what she's saying. I don't think she understands what she's saying is an insult.
Yeah, it's like Hustler and Muscular said. I believe he said it on the call. Women make a lot of money and they forget their place. Mm-hmm. Right? And a lot of women will hear that and think, my place? What do you mean my place? What is my place? Under your husband. That's where it's at. It's under him. Mm-hmm. The only person you're over are those kids.
Right.
Like that's the only person you're over are the kids. So it seems like she don't want a man to have a place in her life because she knows he would have to come in and really be the head of her life, and she has made herself the head of her life. And when
And
you
this,
make yourself the head of your life, that's what you want the man to worship. You want him to worship you. So that's what it sounds like she wants. You know, she wants a man to worship her as if he has no place as the leader or the head in her life.
yeah. That's why it's very important to try to grow with someone. We all don't have the opportunity to do that. But when you are able to do it, it is a lovely thing when you get past, the years are going and you're like, damn, so when it comes to a point where, let's say you are making more money than, your husband, it may happen. You're not going to look down on him because you know where you guys came. Maybe he was making more money than you and supporting you the whole time. Now you're not supporting him, but you're just making more money. Your bills didn't change. You got the same bills and you guys are still doing it together. We just got to stop looking at it as one side. When you're with someone and you're exclusive with them and you're married, that is a one house situation, which means that it's not a selfish situation. It is about you and that person doing stuff together, however you guys decide to do that. I believe that in your household, you do whatever you guys mutually agree on, but you don't complain about it. And if it's something that you don't like, then you guys can talk about it and change it. I think what I'm seeing is women, especially, are set on standards that they're watching out in the public, or set on standards that their friends are on, or set on standards that other married people are on. What are you and your husband on? You guys have to agree together. It could be something that someone out there is not even doing, but y'all are doing it and y'all okay with it and y'all like it. It's respectful. It's just what you guys created together. I don't think that we should just do and every single path. But I do believe if you are into the Bible, you definitely need to start there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that, you could tell that God is not the head of her life. Like you could just tell how certain people talk.
Yeah.
Who, what, and how they're influenced.
Yep.
And just from her saying, she had a baby at 16, like that's hard on a girl. She was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She was a girl. And so now she's at this point in her life where she's 40 something years old and she's beating her chest like men are intimidated by me. And it's like, no, you've had to live a hard knock life, miss. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, you had to live a hard knock life. Yeah. And now you're at a place where I guess you want to date and you're saying what you want and what you need in men. But at the same time, right, she projected her insecurities. What is it? Why are you really at the place that you're at now, being as though you have 2 children? You were married twice. It's like, what is it that you're trying so hard to hold on to? Yeah. And again, it all stems from when you have a baby that young. I mean, that changes your whole trajectory in your life and how you think and your drive and how you go after things. So it just seems as though she has she don't want nobody to let her down. She makes that clear without saying that. Like, I'm not going to be let down. Yeah. And she says that by being, married twice and having a 26-year-old and then a 3-year-old. But at the end of the day, women have to really focus on mentality. It's not a man letting you down, it's you letting you down. You know what I mean? Like we have to be accountable for what we allow.
Yeah, that is true. We have to take more responsibility in that. Like, it's always blame. The blame is on somebody else except yourself.
Yeah.
a lot of us don't know, like, especially if you're young and you're new to dating, you don't know until your ass got hurt. Like, and then you just move on. Because everybody that's out there is not for you. And that's okay. You're going to find the person that is for you. And then you're going to move on. So just make sure that you're out there dating with intention. You don't have to fit in with the thoughts and whatever they call them today. The hookup culture, you don't have to fit in with that. If you're a lady who wants to be married one day, then act like you want to be married one day. Stop blending in with these hoes. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. For what? What is that going to do? Because a lot of men, they're not trying to marry no hoe, period. And if you're trying to get married to a man, you try to accommodate yourself, to have respect for yourself, but also you're dating a man. So why would you date a man and that man doesn't like nothing that you have to offer? That's like getting a job, but they're not interested. You don't fit the criteria. So you got to look at it like that. And I always relate it to a job, because what else am I I could think of something else to relate it to, but I'm sorry. The job is like hitting it on the nail.
But that's see, they don't want to feel like they're working for their man, not realizing that when you're in it together, you're working together. They're so used to working for someone that they think a man is going to come in and try and be the boss, right? That he's going to try and now be my boss.
Yeah.
But as a woman, and assuming that you are being a good person who is vetting this man, you should be happy with who you chose to allow to be inside you, be the person who's bearing your children, be the person who's marrying you. You should be excited about that. And I think a lot of women aren't excited about that or want that to be the case because they realize they didn't vet correctly. They didn't really, really get to know this person. Again, a 3-year-old, it's almost like, you're not almost like, but you're starting all over again. Did you really want to start all over again? Can she really say she wanted to be, a mother, a newborn mother again at, 40 years old or 39, whatever. But,
Not. I know for a fact, no one just wants to start over, especially if they don't even have a husband. Like, you just out here having reckless sex for the second time. You learn from the first. I don't understand. Learn from the first time. Whoever has had a baby when they were a teenager or very young, it is what it is. The child is here. You cannot change that. You decided to keep the child, cool. Now you got to move on, but you got to know that what happened was not the right decision. That's messed up. You have to understand that what you did is not good. But don't sit here and continue the pattern. And now you have baby daddy number 2, baby daddy number 3. In those rare circumstances when they got the twins, and you got one twin is one father and the other one is the father. Like, that's extreme. But I just wanted to say that because it's sad. Because, and I throw this out there, not to say that a lot of women have that situation, but you know what a lot of women have? Having sex with 2 or 3 men in the same week, and y'all men don't understand that. It's like it's not even about the man at this point. Let's talk about you and your health and your standards. And stop comparing yourself to men saying, oh, well, they have a high body count.
That's what I'm saying. Being able to have a lot of people to choose from, and always in your. Somebody asked me if I would go on a Kendra G show. I said nope. I never would go on there. I would never go on a Kendra G show. My parents always told me when I was younger, you got to be careful what you attract. Like, you have to be careful with what you attract.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to attract droves of men. Like, I'm good. Like, I honestly don't. You know what I mean? But I don't think these people realize that when they go on this show that they are going to attract any and everybody. And I don't have time for my attention to be thwarted in so many different directions. I don't even have the capacity for that. I don't.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a lot of women would like all the options so they know who they can use. I'm not out to use nobody, so I'm not even thinking about you in that type of way. Like, oh, what can I get from him? No, I don't even. I'm not trying to figure you out like that. No.
Right.
Mm-mm.
And that's good. So yeah, this show was just to bring out the common nonsense. She is not the only lady who feels that men are intimidated by what she has, and we're talking about finances. I've heard this saying for years, and I think it needs to stop. I think there needs to be more authentic conversations. Both parties need to speak up.
Yeah.
And then we could get something going on, like especially if you're with the person, talk about these things, and it shouldn't be an argument, and help each other. Like why? I think I hear him say, I'm not gonna help a man because he gonna leave me, why are we even thinking about that? And if you think he's gonna leave you for that, why are you with him? You don't trust him.
Right.
He was somebody you don't trust. Help him because you're genuine. And I'm not saying help because he don't have nothing. I'm just saying it's a team effort. So if you're making so much money and he isn't, and for this lady, you're in the same industry, that's a problem. Not a problem for him, but a problem to you because you supposedly make it.
Yeah, that's true. I I don't get it. I don't understand how women want to get with a man but don't and be serious in it too. I mean, I don't mean like relationships or things that are not defined, but you in a relationship with the man and y'all are working towards something, but you don't want to work as a team with him. I don't get like why enter the relationship. And I think that a lot of women enter relationships so they're not lonely. They don't want to be they don't want to be lonely or alone. And they mean two different things, but I don't think women want to spend that time alone, because when you spend time alone, you get to learn yourself. But then when you spend time with other people, you get to learn yourself through a different way, a whole new way of learning yourself.
Yeah.
But it seems like you commit yourself to this relationship but don't want to commit to the teamwork to be in it. I could see you having certain thoughts or fears or whatever before making it official, but why make it official? If you
Just because
don't
they say they have a man, that's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So just if you're not ready for marriage, don't date. It's very simple.
don't do it.
All of
Don't
these things that we're talking about, none of these people are ready for marriage.
or just be very honest. Just say, I definitely don't want to be married. And when men are honest, women need to take them at their honesty. They need to, we as women need to say, okay, that's not what he wants. Next. Like you just like, you know what I mean? Because if you play into what you think it is or what he says it is, and you're going in thinking another thing, then you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. Or you think that you could play the game that you really can't play.
And I'm glad you said that.
Play that game.
The next situation, because real quick, because I was going to share how me and James were able to understand that we were, meant for each other as far as marriage goes. Before I settled down with James, I actually had to do that. It was like, I'm dating for a purpose. I felt I was on crunch time. I was like 21 and I'm like, all right, I want to be married at 25. I have my plan. And I said, I cannot do this if I don't like actually push it harder than what I was. So it was like dating, nope, next, because I'm trying to find that marriage minded man. And a lot of men at my age at the time were not marriage minded. And I didn't understand the pattern or the path of dating an older man. I dated older, but it was like 3, maybe 5 years. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have went 10, 15 years at
Yeah,
the
give me a good 10, 15.
yeah, because some 20-year-old men are not trying to marry.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And I also think it's on location too. So I was in New York. Like in New York, they guys ain't
Yeah.
trying to get married. I didn't notice though. You see what I'm saying?
Child, maybe I need to come down south and come get me a man, child.
Ooh, look, I'm from the north. James is from the south because
Yeah, because up north, these men, they just
they're not trying to settle. And it's weird, but it is what it is. And I was in the wrong location, wrong place. And I didn't know all this stuff that y'all see. I got all this information now. I ain't have all this. And I thought dating someone 10 plus years was weird. But I see why.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind dating someone 10 years older than me.
Y'all heard that? You heard what person said?
I think I've always attracted older men for one, and I've just always been a little bit more mature minded. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
To mature, but
yeah, I
didn't think about age. Like he has his stuff together as when he's older. He wants to be married when they're older. 20-year-old, most 20-year-old men are not looking for at least from my experience, they were not looking for wives.
Right, to be married, right.
Yeah, but like I said, no one taught me, like, okay, date older. But what happened was, so I was dating with strong intentions. It was like next. I was not playing. Next, nope. And I took my time. I didn't just like the first date was saying no.
Right.
You
learned, right.
Yeah, I had long conversations, like, and then I understood. I was okay. I understand what type of man I need. And that's the thing. I think a lot of women don't know what it looks like. And me dating, I figured it out. So I got with James and I was like, this is the one right here. And what happened was some women like, I don't want to find a man. The man has to find me. But in this society, I think I said this on the live with me and James, I would say I initiated it. I saw the man that I should have been with from the first time, right? And I'm like, this is the type of man right here. I'm not going to let him pass me. So I initiated starting the relationship. And I don't think some women would do that. But this society, if you see a good man, don't you let that man pass.
I know, right? We gotta get our Simone Biles on. Like
you gotta grab and get. You understand?
Grab
and get. Because guess what's happening? They're gonna go and they're gonna
grab and get
with life.
No, you're right though. You're absolutely right.
Yep. Eventually, depending on how their life goes, they're gonna find somebody else. But you want to be the one that they find because you are the good one. If you're a good one, get that man. Don't be scared. So I told James, I said, yeah, you're the type of man that I need. That's all I had to say. Case closed 10 years later. That's all I had to say.
He was ready too. He was ready. You got, again, men, they will say they want to be a husband, but their actions is what's going to really tell a woman if that's what they truly want. Yeah. And I'm sure that you said that to him and he's like, all right, I need to put this into motion.
Serious. Yeah. Cause I was dead serious and, he's seen it and he was already serious and looking for a marriage anyway. That was obviously for him because he was married before. But yeah, so that's my story. I had strong intentions. I dated and I said, next, nope, this ain't happening. Like I had and it was realistic. It was a realistic list, which we're going to provide eventually. I keep saying that, but I'm going to provide an actual list and I'm going to have it out for you guys. I do have the list. I don't share it as much, but I'm going to start sharing what I actually did. And it works, and it works for my clients. It works for people that I help. It's a list that you need to have when you're dating because we get caught up into looks. We get caught up into the fancy dates. We get caught up into money. And that's not how you find a husband. So, but for the point of this topic today about intimidation, stop thinking that men are intimidated about you. This is not a competition. You know, we are the opposite sex for a reason. So provide the opposite and stop trying to be like this person and be done with it.
Provide the opposite. Yes. Yes. Provide the opposite. And honestly, providing the opposite will get you more. But women don't see it like that. They don't see providing the opposite will get you more. They feel as though providing the opposite is more of a chore for them. And it's like, no, it's not a chore, but you'll probably see it as a chore if that's not who you really are.
That's a good one. But you learn. So
Yeah.
even if you may think it's a chore, because a lot of us didn't learn this, but you may think it's a chore in the beginning, but you're gonna learn that no, this is not. This is who I am supposed to be.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. And that might be another lie, because talking about the differences and the natural, it's just natural. Let men be men, let women be women. And that's as simple as I can say it. This is not a gender war.
At all.
So
At all.
but
Thank you to I want to say thank you to Stacy as well as to Thomas S who sent in cash apps. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
yes, Thomas S. Yes, everybody who sent in the cash app. Also know that Lady Di TTM's channel has the super chat section. Precious channel does not have that section, but you can also use her cash app for that as well. But we appreciate everyone who stopped by and all of the callers. This is our first time doing that type of show. Call in every Wednesday around 7. We will provide the number around 7:30. So make sure you try to call in on time, and we can get that going. We love the insight. If you do have a question, make sure you provide that question. You have your question ready, and we'll be able to answer it on topic, of course. But yeah, anything else you want to say, Precious, before we get out of here?
Thank you guys so much. This has been a great show. I love the call-in portion. Definitely be on time for it, because we do want to be considerate of the live show that we have on YouTube, and try to get as many. I think we had 3 or 4 callers tonight. So we do want to get you guys' perspective. And we'll, just be letting you guys know along the way some things that we have planned and would like to see for the show. But we definitely appreciate your support. We've been rocking for a little bit now, and we're getting an audience. And so we appreciate you guys. Definitely like the video, share the video, and subscribe to our channels. And to, the folks in the chat, people in the chat are doing some great things as well. So definitely show your support. And thank you guys again. This was a good one. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you all once again, but we will be back. Okay, so we'll see you next week, Wednesday around 7. Make sure that you're here for that. All right, you guys have a good night.
See you guys.